OFI Success June video 2011. This is part of the OFI Pad, the blog with attitude. I'm very excited today because I get the opportunity to interview not only one of my best friends but also someone.
Excited in what way?
Not in the kind of way that you think I would be, but in a very.
I hope you wouldn't be.
In a very benevolent and innocent
platonic
way. Platonic way. We've been exactly. We've been partners from a business point of view since 2001 actually. By the way, the institute is 10 years old in next month, isn't it? We officially set up in July.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, fantastic! Excellent. 10 years. We're still going, and we're still as strong as ever.
We've aged about 20.
We've aged about 20.
First 5 years was the most aging.
Honestly, when I look back at photographs of us a few years ago,
I had hair.
We were like about.
I had actually hair.
I looked like I was still a teenager.
Well, you were practically.
I probably was actually.
You're 20 or something like that.
20. I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Brian is someone who has worked with thousands of people in Ireland. He's
not very effectively, but I've worked with him anyway.
She's worked with them, so he's a lot of experience in hearing the words. You didn't help me, or the expression.
It didn't work.
Brian has worked with thousands of people in Ireland as a therapist and as a coach. He's one of the best known therapists. He, of course, featured on television on the afternoon show. He was the resident mind coach there. He's taught seminars. He's taught us seminars in America. He's about to teach one in Spain. He's worked with many different people, celebrities, sports professionals, etc., etc. And he's also, for me, he's one of the best NLP trainers. He's obviously a licensed master trainer. Really. He's an all-round legend and hero. Yeah. So there's an introduction for you, Brian. Hope you can live up to it.
I prefer if you had actually amped it up a little bit. It's kind of fairly.
Okay, well, just to amp it up a little bit more, I want to tell you that Brian is also the author of a best-selling book, The Happiness Habit, by Brian Colbert. Choose the path to a better life, and you can see there's the sort of like one of those kites, which is multicolored. Includes a free CD, and it's the official coaching handbook of the Irish Institute of NLP. And there's also a CD, so it's such a good value deal. Like, it's such a good deal. But again, the Happiness Habit is, in all honesty, the reason it's a bestseller is because it's an incredible book with lots of fabulous insights about how you can start to build a habit of happiness. And unlike most of the personal development book out there where it's all regurgitating the same old shit, Brian's take on it is quite unique.
It's new shit.
It's new shit, and it's shit that can transform the quality of your life. So, Brian, I want to talk to you today and give some value, because that's what we're here about. We're about giving value to all the OFI Success subscribers about happiness. So, could you tell us in a nutshell, what's the happiness habit all about?
Okay, bottom line. So what happiness is about in a nutshell really is paying attention to what matters most. And that can be the things and the people in your life. So basically doing what works for you more often, more of the time, means that you get to be happy more often, more of the time. It's not very complex. But the reality is a lot of people don't actually know what it is that makes them happy. So this book goes after that and looks after what are the drives, the basic human fulfillment drives that allow people to be happier. Okay? So once you begin to understand them, they're the things that actually drive your entire life. And no matter who you are, what you do, basically, they're going to manifest themselves. So you must get to know them and become familiar with them and then build your goals around them. Once you do that, then you get to be happy more often, more of the time.
Is that why when I go to Celtic matches I get so happy? Because that's what I want in my life. And that's also why I don't have a girlfriend. It's because I'm focusing on Celtic and I'm focusing on my work and I'm focused on my friends, all of which are different things that give me a lot of satisfaction and happiness.
Celtic is your true God. Yes. And one and only God.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But Celtic is not female. And
True.
you really need to kind of shift a little bit.
Do you think I need? Do you think that's an issue?
I don't like. Well, you know what I mean.
Okay. All right. I'll have to have a think. I'll have to have a think.
Some
about
things you can't be happy about, like, and some things actually cause profound unhappiness.
Do you think I'm doing well in the whole happiness habit? I mean, Brian is my friend.
Yeah, I do.
So,
and emotionally, and psychologically, and spiritually, on all the levels. Yeah. So really, this book is not for you because it's a really good book, but it's limited.
Do you think there's any hope for me at all?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't make you. You know, I don't sort of sell you non-truth. This book, good knowledge is, couldn't fix you. You're unfixable.
Okay, so let's pretend we're not talking to me because there's a lot of listeners out there that are better off than
all
me.
benefit from that.
Weird like
exactly.
They're
not facially, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physically challenged.
Exactly. No. So could you give some suggestions or advice, maybe a couple of tips that you could give the viewers at home that can help them to build a habit of happiness, to help them become happier?
Okay. Yeah, well, the big thing really is first of all, on an immediate level, there's different types of happiness. So the first thing is just immediate happiness. And that is basically getting the good feelings flowing. That sounds like a very common sense thing to do, which it is. Basically finding out what actually makes you feel good in the moment. And there's loads of things they do. Some people might eat chocolate, some people watch movies, some people will just relax, some people will chill out, some people meet friends. There are things that will actually help you to feel happy. So it makes sense to do more of them. But there's a bigger part to all of that. Your life needs to take direction, basically, so you need to know where you're going in life. And once you begin to know that, that gives you the bigger picture. Once you got a bigger picture, then you begin to make progress. Once you get a feeling of progress, then you begin to get results in your life. And really, it's about beginning to look at, well, where's your life headed? What's the reason for living, really? What is it that you want in life? And most people don't actually know what that is, okay? This book will help you to uncover that. Okay, because I know from my journey was I learned all about well-founded outcomes, how to set goals, and basically, you know, how to think positive, all of that type of stuff. But I didn't really know what I wanted, and that was the truth of it. So I said, well, is there a system you can develop to find out, if you don't know what you want, how do you get to what you want? Because I knew how to get it, but I didn't know what it was I wanted. And that's where it gave me a deeper understanding of how behavior works. So once you begin to understand that, then you can find out, this is what I'm actually driven for, this is what I'm looking for, and this is what will happen whether I like it or not, so I might as well make it so that I'm in control of it.
So you've got that advice then, is to find out what makes you happy and begin to do it and engage in it more, and then be able to figure out what your life is about in terms of where you want to go.
Yeah.
So what other things could you expand a little bit more on what the viewers can do right now, today, an actual technique or trick besides buying the book? And by the way, I do totally recommend this book. I think it's fantastic. It's one of the few books I highly recommend. But can you give the viewers something else that they can immediately do right now?
Alright, okay. Well, a very simple thing, like basically if they're in a situation, we're assuming that they're not as happy as they want to be, or they want to be better. So there's a process of improvement going on here, which is natural as well. So one of the first things they can do is a very basic tool and technique is think about what they want in their life and begin with the end in mind. Very simple thing. So basically, if they want to be happy, if they want to be healthy, if they want to be confident, they want to be focused, whatever it is that they choose, okay, the first things first is to begin with the end in mind. Focus on where they want to go. Assume that there are no obstacles at all, okay? So just literally, that's imagination time, it's playtime. But realizing the way the brain works. The brain is a problem-solving mechanism, it's a problem-solving instrument. So one of the first things that they can do is begin to say, okay, well, what I want to do is think about what I want. So I want to be happy, I want to be healthy, whatever it is. Now, just imagine what your life would be like if that was already happening. But you begin to do that, basically, then you say, what has to happen for that to happen, okay? And as soon as you answer that question, ask the next question. What has to happen for that to happen? Ask the next question. What has to happen for that to happen? And that drills it back down from the future, from the imagination, from the forecast, right down into the moment. If you begin to do that, basically, one of the best coaching questions I've ever heard is, what has to happen for that to happen? And this book really is about personal coaching. It's about coaching yourself. It's about getting yourself to build up emotional states, to build up the tools, the techniques, the applications. There's a million things you can do, and there's loads of that in that. But simple little things are the things that make the difference, okay? You want to be happy, begin to focus on happiness. That sounds like common sense, but that's really easy to do. You can focus on what's working in your life at the moment. Basically, if you've got children, you can look at a child's face. That can make you smile. Sometimes it can make you pull your hair out type of thing. But ultimately, there's loads of stuff in your life already happening. Your baseline is get the feelings running right properly first by finding out what's actually working. Not what's not working, what is working, okay? Because it's easy to complain and moan and whinge and whine. That's the easy stuff to do. Happiness is a discipline, it is a skill, it is a choice. So you can choose, and you don't have to be happy, you can choose to be miserable too. Remember, that's part of the whole game too. That you need the contrast between all of these things. So the basic thing is to begin to focus on, well, what do you want to have happen in your life? What do you want? And by the way, it can be a short-term goal or a long-term goal. It's up to you. But the biggest thing is, and the people that succeed most are the people that actually decide, say, they have a general direction for all of their life. And that's really the trick, to begin to look at everything. Look at all the levels that you can actually intervene on. Look at your emotions. Look at your emotional health. Look at your physical health. Look at your psychological health. Look at your creativity. Look at your fun. Look at career. Look at all the prospects that you would like to say, well, that's the stuff I'd like to achieve. Okay? And basically then begin to plant goals in around that stuff. And then set out the time for that.
Now, just I suppose to summarise, in terms of a couple of techniques that you can immediately apply and use in your own life. The first one is to make sure that you focus on the things that do make you happy. Become aware of what are the things that give you pleasure. Not just a fleeting pleasure, but a pleasure that you enjoy it on a regular basis. It gives you a sense of satisfaction, deep contentment. Once you find that out, then you start to invest more time, more energy into making those kinds of things a more regular part of your life, so that you're investing in the things that make you happy. You're dwelling on those things. You find what makes you happy and you spend more time doing it. The other thing is to begin to make sure that you're going in the right direction in your life. So you're, as the title of the book says, you're choosing a path to a better life. And that path is by making sure that you know what it is that you want, that you begin, as Brian said, with the end in mind. You're bringing yourself into that future place where you're imagining what needs to happen in order for that to have happened. So you're imagining yourself yourself having successfully built the kind of life you want, and ensuring that that's in alignment with what's most important to you. And as Brian also said, it's about making sure that you look at the different areas of life, from the career to the fun to the spiritual to the family, all of the different areas of your life, to ensure that your life is going in the direction that you want it to. For me, that's so important, because a lot of people make mistakes with happiness. They think it's all about just thinking positive thoughts, or they think it's all about the law of attraction. They think it's all about just having positive ideas in their head and then moving towards it. It's not. That's just one layer to it. There's a lot more to it, and to truly be happy, you need to feel happy from the inside out, not from the outside in. A lot of people are smiling, planting messages on Facebook talking about how happy they are and how, oh, life is so wonderful. Yeah, it is. And at the same time, sometimes it's shit. But the more authentic and genuine you are, the less you have to hide away. The less you have to run away from negativity, or just label people who are being negative all the time as whiners and moaners. Sometimes they are. But a lot of times you need to be able to look at things in a real way, not in a fake way. And for me, the whole notion of what Brian's talking about in terms of values, in terms of being aware of what it is that really connects with you and that you really enjoy, there are real tricks, real tips, real techniques that will allow you to feel happier a lot more. Last question, Brian. Do you think it's possible for me to find happiness?
Okay, unless it's a person or a thing, no.
And what do you mean a person?
If a person's called happiness, you might be able to find happiness because that's their name, right? If it's a thing, like, you know, if it's a thing, like, it's not a verb or an action that you do, but it's a thing. So you say, oh look, that's like an iPad. Yeah, you say, oh look, that's happiness. Okay, now you could find part of it, but I think you play too much on that.
So Brian, is there any hope for me whatsoever? You talked about the different challenges that I'm facing in terms of the different areas of my life.
Just being yourself, really, is what you're saying. You know, no, there is probably no hope whatsoever.
But even if I read the book, even if I practice NLP,
no, absolutely, it's fundamentally on a basic cellular level. Every aspect of you is too damaged to be able to redeem. I don't mean that to be offensive now.
No, I'm not taking it. I'm totally not taking it.
So your trick really is to engage yourself with your own personal misery, right? And at some level try and accept that. And if you can do that, well, you just still be miserable, really. So I don't think there's much hope.
But reading book, NLP courses,
no. And people will always hope. The great news is that there's always hope. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is there's not always results, and what we're offering here is only hope.
So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed the valuable information and the hope that you've gotten from this video. I want to say a big thank you to Brian, my buddy, for his wisdom and guidance and
the motivational talk for yourself, especially.
That was great, a real great help, and also for plugging his book again. It's The Happiness Habit. So I do want to say a big thank you to you, Brian. For June, I hope you're having a phenomenal summer. Wait for the OFI pad. It's going to look really cool. Wait till you see the new OFI pad.
I've seen the preview. It looks pretty cool.
I'm so excited. So at least it's going to look good, even if the content is shit. Only joking, the content's going to be brilliant.
Well, the content this month is going to be exceptional.
But it's going to be full of hope.
Yes.
So anyway, thank you very much. Enjoy your summer. Hope that it's sunny wherever you are.
Obviously not in Ireland.
I know, it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
It is. That's another thing to be depressed about. You should think about the weather and get really depressed.
I was going to do that. But I'm off to feel depressed about myself, how miserable I am, and about the weather. For you, though, you're the opportunity to be happy.
I'm off to count my profits.
Okay, and let us leave with you with a prophecy. If you go after happiness, it will run away. But if you allow yourself to practice the happiness habit, then
you'll make me wealthy.
Exactly, and you'll have hope.
And you'll at least change one person, which is me.
Exactly.
Make me happy.
Isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth it if that works out? This has been the OFI Success, June 2011. It's also been part of the OFI Pad, the blog with attitude. Take it easy.